Hi, and welcome to our virtual reInvent. My name is Sandy Carter, and I'm Amazon Web Services Vice President for Public Sector Partners, Startup, and Programs. I'm so excited that you're here today to listen to Keeping Mission Critical, Critical but Simple. This will be something actionable for every partner out there, so I can't wait to get your feedback, not only on this, but how we can even help you more. Now, I know this is virtual, and I know we've been working from home for a while, and sometimes I feel like, do I work at home or do I live at work? But I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, and I hope that you're safe and healthy, and just know how much we appreciate your business and the value that you're bringing to our customers as well. I wish that I could be on the road seeing all of you. I've traveled to 87 different countries around the world, seeing all of our global partners, and it's been such an amazing experience. I have to tell you a secret though. You know, my daughters invite me for career day, and it's a little difficult to explain what I do, like what's a cloud, what are we doing with partners? And so what I do now is I say, I've eaten in McDonald's in 87 different countries. Sad, but a true story. So since I can't jump on an airplane and come and see each of you, what I started to do is my 100-day tour. I saw 100 partners in 100 days virtually. I flew virtually around the world to cover 68 of different countries that our partners are in. And it was so valuable that I'm going to do it again, at least until I can travel in person. So as you're going to see today, what we're going to talk about has a lot of your ideas in it. If you're sitting there going, oh, I met with her and I gave her that idea, you are right. So keep giving us those ideas. Give us what you need so that we can help you add more value to our customers. So now you know we are going to cover all of those global partners. We're also going to cover all partner types. So I know that there are different needs for consulting partners, for our GSIs, RSIs, NSIs. There are different needs for our solution providers and our resellers, aggregators, and distributors, and there are different needs for our technology partners too. So we'll try to make sure we cover all of those partner types and different items for each of you. And we're going to try to cover all the verticals that public sector now covers. So government, state and local and federal, health, education, nonprofit, and space. I hope you caught Teresa Carlson's announcement about our new space IBU. We'll also talk about startups and even regulated industries. So basically, if you are a partner for public sector, or you want to become a partner for public sector for AWS, stay tuned because this presentation will have something for all of you. Okay, so let's go ahead now and get started on our topic. Keeping mission critical, critical but simple. I'm going to talk about three things. I love threes because they're easy to remember. First, I'm going to talk about the mission opportunity. So how much opportunity there is for you to add value for our customers in missions. Secondly, I'm going to talk about technology, how technology enables the mission, but also has phenomenal opportunity. And third and final, I'm going to talk about a simple path to growth. Now, I know, because I talked to many of you in my 100-day tour, that learning how to grow with AWS while providing that customer value is essential. And so we'll spend some time on that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I want to talk first about what the mission is. I know everybody has kind of different definitions. So for us, the mission is the purpose of the organization, government, country, state. It's really what that company, organization, or state does. Their purpose, what the purpose is. So it's a workload, but it's not specific to IT. It's specific to the mission. It could be inclusive of some of that enterprise workload, but it's mission owned or business funded versus IT funded and driven. So I like examples. Let me give you some examples of what we see as missions. Now, I'm going to take first Nevada, and I just had the pleasure of meeting with Nevada on my little tour. And Nevada is very special. They focus in almost solely on mission. They work around several different agencies, and one of their recent missions was around military situational awareness. So again, supported by IT, but not driven by IT. So let's now move from the US to Canada. Let's take Accenture. Accenture is doing a great job in Canada. And one of the things that they wanted to focus in on was the volume demand for citizens applying to the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit. So their mission was employment and social development. Again, supported by IT, but not only IT. Now let's go back to Pennsylvania, Erie County, Pennsylvania, with one of our partners, Northwoods. And they have a really special mission. They needed some sort of way to collect data for child welfare with some of the new state laws that had been passed. And so they focused on case management around child welfare, the mission, their purpose, not necessarily just IT. I hope that really clarifies for you what we're talking about when we talk about the mission. In fact, today I talked to a partner and they have 400 different mission examples. So if you think about the mission has a lot of opportunity. In fact, a lot of data shows that mission has more opportunity than just some of the straight IT-driven workloads. So as you as a partner are looking for, how do I add more value? Mission may be one of the ways you want to consider or add to and augment as you move forward. So we were working with IDC and we have some interesting data around smart cities. Now, smart cities is a mission, right? Making your city more efficient and effective. And one of the things that IDC showed was that budget or that spending is often decentralized. So you have that mission budget as well as the IT budget. And even when you have an IT budget, the data shows that there is influence that occurs from some of those mission owners. Now, on the right-hand side of the slide, you also see that some of that spending in local government will be huge and driven by the mission. So whether you're talking about smart traffic or anything around smart city, $203 billion will be spent in the mission on smart city alone. So there's a lot of opportunity here for you to add value in this space. Now, as you're thinking about adding value for the government, many missions are built with diversity in mind. This is really important, especially in today's environment. Diversity matters. In fact, much of the data shows that diversity really drives innovation. So governments, states, countries are looking for that diversity. We created a pilot called Think Big for Small Business. And it's all about those small and medium enterprise partners that are out there and diverse partners as well. What we're going to do is help you get qualified into some of the higher levels or tiering for the APN Partner Program. So you get access to some of the select benefits and some of the advanced benefits as well. And this will mean both help with go-to-market as well as technology assistance too. So for example, if we take a look at some of the small and medium enterprises today that are taking advantage of our new pilot, you'll see some of the power of this program. So let's look first at MFT. Now, MFT is a small business. It's actually a husband and wife team. They are really focused on helping out with the Black economic empowerment, and they're using that rating to assist in South Africa. They leverage Think Big for Small Business pilot to help them in the go-to-market. What was their strategy? How were they going to take that into the market? Now, if you go to the other side of the world, in South Korea, we have a small business called Cloud Prime. And they really needed help and assistance in technology. They needed some of the tech capability assistance that we offer and some of the differentiation there. So here you kind of see both sides. You can use both value if you'd like, go to market as well as technology. But here you can see the impact of Think Big for Small Business if you are a partner that is a small and medium enterprise. Now, if you think about the mission, one of the things you're going to hear us talk about a lot are repeatable solutions. Repeatable solutions are really valuable to our organizations, our governments, our countries, our states. And why is that? Well, you can see demonstrable value. It's been done before. But it's also valuable for our partners when you were able to take a solution and repeat it in multiple places. The replication gets easier and you optimize what you've built so that it's even better as you move along. We have several examples of these repeatable solutions, and you're going to hear us really talk about this throughout 2021. So let me give you one of my favorite examples. So this is with Splunk, one of our business partners, and one of the repeatable solutions that they build with University of Illinois. It's called the Safer Illinois app, and you can see here a little boarding pass. Now, one of the challenges was at college, how do you ensure that students going to class or going into labs have had the COVID test and it's safe for them to enter? As a mom of 2 daughters, this is a really important use case for me. So you can see the boarding passes there. Once a student passes their COVID test, they get a boarding pass. And that boarding pass then can be used to get into the lab, to get into the classroom. But the leadership of the university also needs to understand how they're doing in managing COVID. So they also built a leadership dashboard that the board, that the president, that the deans can look at to make the right decisions for that university. Now, of course, this is repeatable at many different universities, right? Regardless of where you are, Singapore, Brazil, even Bulgaria. But also think about different repeatable use cases. Let's take a sporting event, for example. It's very visual, very demonstrable, and it's very repeatable. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about a repeatable solution. So to help you in that area, there's a couple of things that we're doing that make these mission-based solutions important in different geos. So I'm going to pause for a second here and talk a little bit about the US. So GovCloud. In the United States, it's really important for a whole variety of reasons that we have secure and compliant solutions, that they meet things like ITAR and FedRAMP and FIPS. These are requirements in certain parts of the US government. And so we built AWS GovCloud to be just that, to be available for sensitive, regulated data, and to really accelerate that time to compliance. So this may be a way that you could build a mission-based solution for the US government in record time. And in fact, we have hundreds of partners with thousands of solutions that have done just that. So whether you're talking about BlackBerry or Box or Pegasystems, all of these partners now have solutions that are built on AWS GovCloud. And one I wanted to call out just happened, and that is Red Hat. Red Hat just announced OpenShift 4.6, just released in October, and it now allows self-managed customers and AWS GovCloud to deploy OpenShift via the OpenShift installer. So customers can now take advantage of that user-provisioned interface and installer provisioned infrastructure, and they can use either one of those modes to run it in GovCloud. Congratulations to Red Hat. So now let's hear from one of our partners, and Akshay is going to join us from Quicket Solutions to talk a little bit about his use of AWS GovCloud.
My name is Akshay Singh, and I'm the co-founder, president, and chief technology officer of Quicket Solutions. Quicket Solutions is the operational intelligence platform for any local law enforcement agencies. Our basic synopsis is from dispatch to disposition, anything that has to be digitized, and in relation to data sharing, Quicket takes control of everything and the entire process in between. Quickit actually started in Amazon Web Services, a specific region meant for government workloads known as GovCloud. We started small, but at this point, we utilize almost 80% of the GovCloud, all the services available so far, and several in multiple workloads. Law enforcement is pretty intense on capturing the data. AWS gives this a special advantage by their services such as S3 and Glacier. Extremely cheap, and if someone asks how much data do you have, literally my answer is infinite. One of the biggest problems in law enforcement is data is never shared. There was no concept of data sharing in real time. Same data might be sitting in 15 different locations in one city itself, but there is no connectivity. Quickit is the first one in this space to address this issue by just bringing in the power of cloud. And because of cloud, data at source is distributed to every stakeholder in this entire process. AWS is by far the most proven cloud infrastructure provider out there. The training material and the assistance through support programs that AWS provides is just incomparable.
Thank you, Akshay, another partner of ours who's leveraging GovCloud to make his solution more powerful in the mission. Now, one of the actionable points I want you to take away here today is to think about how you are differentiating based on your mission focus. We've been working with several industry analysts, and they tell us that over 50% of customer organizations, government time right now in the pandemic is spent reading your material, talking to third parties, and another 30% is spent talking to you. So in that customer experience wheel, or flywheel as we call it, they're spending a lot of time trying to understand what your mission is. So make sure that you're using that differentiation. Now, we can help you with that as well. We have an amazing partner marketing team, and we are investing to help you do that differentiation by mission. So whether you're looking at leveraging one of our PMMs to help you really identify your unique value and position that expertise in the market, or using some of those MDF funds to help expand your customer base and really showcase your innovation through blogs, customer references, case studies, webinars, we can help you differentiate. In fact, I'm really excited that the marketing team this year was very creative in their use of blogs with GovLoop and other ways to get your stories out the door. So let us help you in that area. Now, I know that marketing is important, but equally as important is that joint seller connection. Now, I know that this is for our ISVs, and you probably heard earlier that we were talking a lot about ISV Accelerate. Now, ISV Accelerate is really important because it does meet the need that many of you talked to me about in our 100 days stories. It allows for compensation to the AWS sales organization and helps to set a joint goal between AWS and you as a partner. There's also support from the organization as well. So I've seen several partners doing enablement sessions for our sellers. And you know, it really is that field seller to field seller connection that really makes some of that growth hum, especially around the mission. So if you're an ISV, make sure you check out ISV Accelerate. Now, digital transformation has become really important during our pandemic times. And in fact, digital transformation links directly to the mission, and digital transformation will really matter. So there's two things I want to talk to you about in this section. The first is if you are a new partner, we set up a concierge program for our new partners. It's really a dedicated team to help you around becoming a partner, accelerating on building your solution and getting some of those technical competencies. We started with this as a pilot, like we usually do at AWS in the US, and then we moved to Asia Pacific, and we're now starting this up in Europe and Latin America as well. Now, part of that concierge service, or if you're not a new partner and you're a partner who just wants some help building a great cloud practice, we have a great program called the Partner Transformation Program. Now, it's 100 days planning. It's a comprehensive assessment for you. So we actually assess you against some of the best practices that are out there. And then we customize the transformation plan. So it's not one size fits all. It's customized just for you. And then we enable you on that as well. We've helped over 450 partners through PTPs. We've got two interesting stories that I wanted to use to share some of the value. So Tech Data in South Korea leveraged PTP to really impact their culture. Now, one of my favorite quotes is, "Culture eats strategy for lunch." Culture is critical and so important. So Tech Data found that PTP, or our Partner Transformation Program, helped them with that cloud culture. Now, if we go over to Malaysia, IPSB really wanted to see how they could develop a plan, have a set of Scrum set up so that they could build a great cloud practice. So whether you're looking for that culture piece or whether you're looking for the specific plan for your business, PTP can help you. But don't listen to me. I want you to hear it from one of our partners, 1901, based in Virginia, doing a lot of things to help with jobs in rural America, but also really focused on PTP. So let's listen to Sanu as he talks about the impact it had on his business.
1901 is a managed services provider. We basically migrate applications to the cloud, and then we monitor, manage, and optimize them while they're in the cloud. The great thing about the PTP program for us was that it was a forcing function. It got everybody aligned within our company, from engineering and sales and business development to capture to compliance to even HR. Our goal is really to build a world-class operations and migration capability in Blacksburg, Virginia. We're targeting 500 engineers there in the next 3 years. So we're super excited about working with AWS and helping us develop the curriculum, going after the requisite business to get there, and also doing some very creative things for the marketplace that we think could drive business much faster as the government shifts from an on-premise, labor-based model to more of a cloud-based services model. I don't think we would have gotten all this done unless we had a 100-day sprint plan to work together collectively with AWS. The assessment process was great because it did a couple things for us. One, it allowed us to level set where we actually were versus where we thought we were, and also gave us something to target and move toward. So when we did that, the findings that we came out with were kind of eye-opening for our engineering, our business development team, and our operations team. But at the end of the day, it's all about incrementally getting better every day, and that really helped us move forward.
Thank you, Sanu, for telling your story. Now, we have another program called AWS Activate. And AWS Activate really helps you to get some of those credits that you need. Now, if you think about it, a lot of those credits are so valuable. 5 years ago, it cost so much to set up an infrastructure for a startup. But now you can move quickly because you have the AWS cloud. We also have a great program just for education startups called AWS EdStart as well. Now, I want to tell you one story about an amazing startup, Boom. I hope that you've heard about them. If you haven't, you definitely will. They are the first privately financed producer of a supersonic jet. We just hosted with them their virtual launch event for the XB-1, the supersonic rollout. Now, they leveraged our AWS HPC technology. They did that to simulate what that supersonic jet would be like. Of course, in addition to the technology, they also leveraged those AWS credits that startups will receive as well. And working with Mike, they did an amazing job, and they are now going all in on AWS. Okay, so we're now coming down to the last section of mission. This is one that's really important for our partners. And in my 100-day tour, I can tell you how many partners have really leveraged these competencies to show to their customers, organizations, states, countries, their value in a mission. So a competency really raised the bar for you. And our customers know that. They look for competencies. So we have a government competency, education, nonprofit, healthcare. Last reInvent, I got to announce our public safety and disaster response competency for our consulting partners. Many of you took advantage of that. I want to talk about one of our great partners who took advantage of that, which was Maxar. Now, Maxar has aerial views so that you can see before a disaster, after a disaster. In this particular case, Maxar provided Team Rubicon with access to its Secure Watch platform so that volunteers could leverage that pre-event view, which is here before Hurricane Laura, to after, which is after Hurricane Laura. Team Rubicon united the skills and the experiences of military veterans with first responders to really help in this disaster and provide some of those volunteers the opportunity to go and clear away brush and make the whole recovery process much easier. Now today, I am really excited to announce that we are taking that public safety and disaster response and making it available for our technology partners. We have 16 technology partners that we've recently added. And if you take a look at them, they're all amazing. One I wanted to call out is NGA 911. Now, if you're not from the US, 911 is our emergency response system. So what they were able to do is to help some of the customers like a county in Nevada to replace their outdated 1960 technology, believe it or not, to be compatible with the wireless world, to really help reduce the time from something happening to the time that someone can respond and provide help and assistance. That's just one of the amazing stories that you can hear about from some of our technology partners. I have one other thing I want to talk about here as well, and that is that we now also have our Energy Competency Pre-Announce. Now, we prioritize competency launches based on customer needs, and next year, there's a lot of unique needs in energy, not just oil and gas, but some of the new energies as well. So to meet the needs of this industry, one of the things we want to provide is our energy competency to help our customers who are looking for these highly specialized companies. As we pre-announce this, we'll be working to announce partners in 2021, and we'll deliver more details as we go along. Okay, so now we've really covered the mission. And as we've been working with partners, we know a lot of partners really focus in on that mission, but many of you focus in on the technology. Of course, we're all builders here, right? We're part of AWS, so technology underpins everything. But I want to spend just a minute talking about the opportunity that is there for the technology focus too. Now, first, you guys know I love quotes, so I want to start with one of my favorite quotes. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And look at the opportunity for these technologies. If you look at migration, McKinsey tells us that 80% of workloads are still on-prem. And then you can go from analytics to IoT to artificial intelligence in the billions and sometimes trillions of dollars of opportunity. And then, of course, security, which as Andy Jassy likes to say is job zero, is another big opportunity. So having that technology focus is so valuable to our customers and really underpins every mission that we do. So let's start first around migration. Many missions start out with migration of legacy applications. So here's one of our great partners, Credence Management Solutions. They worked with the U.S. Defense Logistics Agency to take some of their mission-critical applications and get them to the cloud so that they could then use that data. They had the first migration of Oracle RAC to Amazon RDS, and they migrated 5 mission-critical applications to Level 5 GovCloud Enclave. So many missions start out with migration, and we now have ways that we can help you in migration. Many of you love our new Migration Acceleration Program 2.0, specifically for partners, for you. We provide you cash in the assessment phase using our Migration Evaluator, to mobilizing, and then of course, cash for migration and modernization projects. Now, of course, all of this is built upon the premise that you are a migration competency partner. But I have to tell you, I was just meeting with Inquisid, both TC, the founder and chairman, and Doug, and they gave me a great quote that I had to use here. The MAP program at AWS is the most generous and well-designed program in the market to help organizations get to the cloud. So if you haven't checked this out, definitely check out our MAP program. Now, I did mention that you had to be migration competency ready. And I do know it is one of our hardest competencies to get. You have to be an advanced tier or premier tier consulting partner. You have to have an established migration practice, and you have to have at least 15 certifications. But rightly so, because these are really important legacy workloads that you're helping to migrate to the cloud. Now, last reInvent, we told you that migration was one of our top priorities, with over 80% of workloads still sitting on premises. And I'm so excited to say that we now, in public sector, have over 100 partners with the migration competency. We have more than double the number of new migration partners working in public sector in the past calendar year. So thank you. But we have much more demand out there. So if you haven't jumped on this bandwagon, you need to right away. One of our recent partners who became migration competency certified is Datadog. Now, Datadog has been working with a federal government agency to leverage what they do around migrations to accelerate it. One of our big focus areas is on migration velocity. And so they've reduced the mean time to resolution for applications and infrastructure and enable that cross-functional DevOps culture. Back to that culture again. So check out what Datadog has done for sure. So now let's move from migration to data. And I will tell you that data-led migrations, really important in that migration velocity. But data itself is growing. IDC said that IoT usage has gone up by 400% since the pandemic started, and IoT devices are expected to generate 79 zettabytes of data by 2025. And you have to have a data strategy. You have to think about your quality, your quantity, and your source of data. And so we want to help you take advantage and adding value here. We've already got partners like RumiBot from Mexico. They have really helped out the Mexican Hospital Association with a robot. So cool, because using IoT sensors, they are able to help those first responders. They can take temperature, look at your breathing patterns to help pre-identify potential COVID. Now, if we move from Mexico over to Canada, MyoVision is using IoT sensors for traffic management. Now, this is equally as important, right? Being able to manipulate everything that's going on using Amazon IoT to ingest over 100,000 messages from thousands of devices, traffic intersections. So how can we help you in this space? Well, get activated today. We have a whole set of training and certification for you. Of course, we have the IoT competency as well. And I hope that you caught that both AWS IoT Core and Device Manager is now available in GovCloud. Now, when you're thinking about data and you're thinking about IoT, something that really comes to mind is the edge. So what is AWS doing about the edge? Well, recently, we know that there are new and improved ways for businesses to maximize their operational efficiency, improve their performance, and more data is being created in more locations. So AWS Outpost allows you to reduce that latency of data, keeping data close to where you need it most. Now, we know that you as partners really love the announcement of AWS Outpost last year at reInvent. We now have the AWS Outpost Ready program. It provides you, our partners, with deeper learning sessions with the product teams or the service teams, gives you exclusive peeks into the roadmap, and sales and technology enablement. And partners for public sector like Trend Micro, known for their security services, have already joined those other 31 partners in the Outpost Ready program to get ready for Outposts for their customers. Now, another thing that you're hearing a lot about in the edge or on the edge for public sector is, of course, 5G. Now, everybody's talking about 5G, but what makes 5G so different? Well, first, when you're talking about data, latency matters. There's a 10x decrease in latency. And connection density, especially for IoT connectivity, really matters too. And so 10x connection density really has an impact. So all of our customers are interested in how do we leverage 5G and the cloud. Now, if you think about it, we've really tremendous opportunity, of course. And with the explosion of data and all the IoT we've just talked about, all the new business models and the digital ecosystem that's popping up, 5G is actually ushering in a new era of demand. So we've got several products that are ready for 5G: Wavelength, SageMaker, Outpost, Greengrass, Local Zones. And so what we want to do is get you ready. So stay tuned. And first quarter, we're going to have an AWS PartnerCast webinar on 5G. So let's now move into the next place, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. I did that on purpose because data, you have to have that data strategy that feeds into artificial intelligence. That's how your machine learning models learn, is from the data. And artificial intelligence plays a big role in the mission. 3 examples here from our partners. Orbis, which is an international nonprofit. They're using artificial intelligence to fight avoidable blindness. Now if we move over to Ventec. Ventec is helping healthcare in Europe use data sets to answer different research questions. And then if we move to Belfast, Axle 3D is helping the Belfast hospital systems have learning models in place to do 3D modeling for surgeons. We've got a lot of training available for machine learning. We know that all of our customers are interested in it. So let's hear a little bit about what's going on in artificial intelligence with some of our partners. I'd like to now pass it over to Sebastian, Saildrone's Chief Operation Officer. Sebastian, take it away.
Oceans really drive key planetary systems that affect us on land. Our mission is to quantify the entire planet in real time using wind-powered drones to fulfill that mission. Imagine a sailboat covered with solar panels and has no engine. It relies purely on wind power for propulsion. The types of sensors that we have on the sail drone is pressure sensors for barometric pressure, air temperature, carbon dioxide, and a telecommunication link back through satellite that streams real-time data back to shore. So for example, our Antarctic circumnavigation. It had never been done before. You will need to understand the risk of collision with icebergs, which can be the size of small countries. Drones are equipped with cameras. The problem being, when you're at sea, the ocean moves, the waves move, and we need to train machine learning algorithms so we can navigate this. We sail around Antarctica in 196 days with 3 vehicles and release the data 20 days after the mission was over. Anyone can download the scientific data and immediately start integrating it to get some insight.
Well, thank you, Sebastian. Isn't that Saildrone story just an amazing use of data and machine learning to navigate the globe? Pretty cool. So we know that not all of you are to the level of Saildrone. Many of you are just starting out with artificial intelligence and machine learning. And so as such, we created the Rapid Adoption Assistance Initiative. And it's just for you who are just starting out with artificial intelligence. So if you're a consulting partner or a technology partner, this program could just be for you. It will help you get ramped up with an easy 3-step process. An envisioning workshop that helps you kind of envision where you might want to use artificial intelligence in your solutions. An enablement phase, kind of like a proof of concept or a prototyping area, and then a build phase. Now, we originally kicked this off in the United States for the AI/ML Act that was just passed for $2 billion investment in artificial intelligence. And partners like ABT, Attain, Deloitte, Ardent MC, and Infintive have really jumped in and leveraged this Rapid Adoption Assistance Program. But then we started getting calls from around the world. So I'm really pleased to announce that in 2021, we will also take this program global. So make sure you check it out and get going on artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now let's go ahead and move on to cybersecurity. I probably should have started here because I did say that this was priority 0, but it's also a great place to end this technology session. Cybersecurity is really growing in importance. In fact, the FBI said that there has been a 400% increase in cybersecurity attacks. And here you see that unauthorized users attack every 39 seconds on average. So we've really studied some of these use cases for our partners. And we found that securing remote workforce and web portal security are so essential. Also, DevSecOps is becoming really a highlight where everyone is accountable security, not just a security team. And then, of course, Zero Trust. So we want to help you in this space and help you in this area. We created a program called ATO, or Authority to Operate. We started it first for FedRAMP, reducing your time to market and reducing your cost. We'll do an assessment with you, provide guidance, templates, and tools, and then we'll help you. We've got some partners who can help you in this area, and believe it or not, we now have over 129 solutions authorized for FedRAMP. That's 3 times more than Azure and Google combined. But we haven't stopped there. We're on a mission to reduce the time to compliance. So we've also added for financial services, PCI, for healthcare, HIPAA and HITRUST, for public safety and tax, IRS 1075, internationally, GDPR, of course, and for defense, IL4, 5, and 6. So stay tuned for more and check out the Authority to Operate program. Now, we've also been working on some solutions. We had talked earlier about repeatable solutions in the mission. What about repeatable solutions for a technology area? Why not, especially around cybersecurity? So securing remote workforce or securing those government web portals, packaging up these repeatable solutions, being managed and provisioned by partners is very important. So today we have 6 of those repeatable solutions. We have Anitian, Coldfire, Deloitte, Infusion Point, StackArmor, and CloudHesive. Let me just take maybe an example of one of those. Let's go to CloudHesive for a moment. CloudHesive has been working to really secure the workforce. And they're doing it with workspaces, really making sure that those virtual desktops have that workforce security. So they've got a security control plane. They're using the Amazon Cloud Landing Zone to really enable their customers to be assured during even high season with taxes that their workspaces are secure. Just one example of a repeatable solution in our technology space. Okay, so now we're ready for the last and final area. We talked about the mission, and then we talked about technology. But I think the number one question that I got in my 100-day tour was, okay, how can we work together to grow? It's a great question. And as I really thought about it, I was thinking, let's really take this along the customer journey. So kind of helping the customer get started. Of course, a lot of that is now digital with what's going on. Easing the adoption of that technology. And then hopefully jointly figuring out a plan to take your solution to market, to grow beyond just compute and storage. By the way, industry analysts say that when we do go beyond compute and storage with things like IoT or machine learning, we add a lot more value to the customer solution all the way out to renew. So what I'd like to do now is just to take a couple of minutes and walk through what we're doing in each of these areas. Of course, we already talked about some of the help that we have in programs above, so I'll end by summarizing what we've talked about today. So let's start first with that area of getting started. Now, I love this example. I met with Eagle Dream Technologies when I was doing my tour, and I thought this was so smart that I wanted to share it with you. This was actually done by a partner, and as a customer starting out, they have this great website that talks about their premier status as a consulting partner. But they go one step further. They tell about all the competencies that they have to help them with the mission as well as with technology. Not only can customers come to this site, but also the AWS sales team who may be looking for a great partner with just those skills. So now if we move from that starting point to digital, because we did talk about digital being so important, Alexander Group produced some interesting research, and they found that now that we've moved digitally, those digital lead generation reps are spending 42% more time with your customers. And so back to that, mission, technology differentiation, make sure that you get the AWS help from your partner marketing team and from those MDF funds to help you optimize for that digital viewpoint. So we've talked about Start now, both on the digital side and some great best practices from our partners. Now let's talk about ease of adoption of technology. We've been working really hard to integrate our technology with some of our partners. Take, for instance, Amazon Connect, one of our fastest growing solutions. Amazon Connect is a contact center solution. We have recently integrated with a CTI adapter, Salesforce Service Cloud and Salesforce Sales Cloud. Now, if you are a consulting partner or a reseller, you really should take a look at our VMware Cloud on AWS. Every customer I talk to needs to protect their skill sets. They really need to focus on speed, agility, and cost savings. And the integration of VMware with AWS really provides that. For example, the Scottish government has been deploying VMware Cloud on AWS. So using the people and the skills that were already in place, they were able to convert an on-premises solution to VMware Cloud and Linux. I think what's important is that in 3 weeks, with only 3 people, they were able to get VMware Cloud on AWS up and running. Now let's go over to West Windsor Plainsboro Regional School District. Easy for you to say, right? They needed to get virtual desktops for 10,000 students, 43 applications over to VMware Cloud on AWS, and they were able to do that in 2 weeks, and they reduced their cost by 50 to 70%. So this solution, this integration, can help you as our partner protect your customer's skill set and really increase that time to value or time to market for moving to the cloud and reduce cost. So if you haven't checked out VMware Cloud on AWS, I encourage you to do so. So now let's talk about expansion. So expanding your market out. One of the things I wanted to talk about was Amazon Connect. If you think about it, it's a call center and it's a solution. And it really enables you to reach a new buyer, right? AWS primarily is sold to builders. Those we love, the CTO, the CIO, all the developers, we love them. But we also love the C-suite. And Amazon Connect gives you the opportunity to reach into those buyers as well. Now the value prop's a little different. It's not just that we have great technology, but our technology enables a better customer experience for them. The AI and ML enables better sentiment analysis and contact categorization. So check out Amazon Connect as that kind of product that can open the door to a new buyer. Now, Voice Foundry has done that. They're doing business in the US and Australia, Canada, and the UK. Let me share with you what they're doing around Amazon Connect. Voice Foundry, take it away.
The new system was implemented in 10 days. So that was a phone line and all of the different lines in and out from the people who were working within the council and also those in our volunteer hubs in the community. There was all of the training for about 207 staff over that period, so they could go home, they could work from home.
We put a mechanism in place very quickly for our library staff to be redeployed to become the contact centre per se for our shielded and vulnerable list. Voice Foundry put a really simple training in place for our staff, so you didn't have to be technology savvy to understand how to use it.
So I understand that you've been shielding, is that correct?
So of our almost 3,000 shielded residents using Amazon Connect and using the phone calls, we were able to either have phone contact or face-to-face contact with all but 11 of the residents on that entire list.
So Voice Foundry has that amazing solution with Amazon Connect. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. So one way to expand is with new buyers. Another way is with partner-to-partner linkage. Now, when you guys work together, you can really expand your market presence. So take Carahsoft, a great partner who has a lot of contracts and procurement mechanisms, and then Cloudicity, who really develops great solutions. They partner together with one of our states to identify how a government could respond to the current pandemic by identifying disease trends across that state. Because they partnered together, both of them expanded their marketplace. Now, as we talk about expansion, I know you're also going to ask me about incentives, and we do have one that I think is really interesting. It's fondly known as Newbie, or the New Business Engagement Discount. So when you add new customers and new workloads in the US, state and local government, all of Latin America, Canada, and the Caribbean, Australia, India, Japan, New Zealand, you get 5% discount in addition to your solution provider program discount. Now, this is eligible for any solution provider or distributor who's working with a public sector customer. I know Europe is sitting there wondering when they're going to get it. We should have onboarding eligible partners in Europe in first quarter. And one of our great partners, DLT, which is now a tech data company, has recently used this incentive to expand their business with a lot of new customers and new workloads as well. So I'm really excited to talk about this planning phase as well. One of the things we talked about at the PAC last reInvent was something called ProServe Ready. Well, I am so excited to announce that we're now in pilot. What is ProServe Ready? Well, it's really built for our consulting partners. We teach you ProServe best practices, and we badge your employees with those new skills as well as the partner so that you can get access to opportunities with ProServe. So ProServe would subcontract out to you. It's a great way to plan with ProServe and to really build and earn customer trust. One of the first partners in this pilot is Applied Insight. And Applied Insight has just gone through their training and they're identifying their opportunities right now. We do have a waiting list for this pilot, but make sure you get on it because I think it's going to be amazing. My partner here is John Dancy, who runs ProServe for public sector. Now, another area of planning that I heard a lot from in my 100-day tour was betas. All of you guys said, hey, I want to get started early. I want to impact what the service teams are doing. And so we've heard you. I created a new team set up to just help you with some of this new service adoption. And we know that it's really valuable for you. We looked at last year's reInvent where we announced AWS Outpost. And so prior to the launch, one of our partners, Lockheed Martin, was able to beta test Outpost. This was really helpful because it helped them identify some new use cases like visualization rendering. Some of the IoT work they're doing was also modeled before Outpost actually came out. So they were able to run IoT Greengrass and some proprietary apps close to the factory to drive digital transformation and support some of their strategic development and solutions as they did that. So make sure that you look at some of the betas and connect with our team to get you access to some of those as well. Okay, so I've talked about a lot of stuff. This is actually my favorite slide in the entire deck because I think it summarizes everything that we've had. Thank you for many partners for reviewing this as well to help make it very complete. So how do we help you get started with the customer? Well, we talked about Think Big for small business, a co-selling program for ISV Accelerate, marketing with MDF, our MAP program, that Migration Assistance Program, those vertical competency, government, education, healthcare, public safety, and disaster response. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Restack program, but I'd be happy to talk to you about that too. And then PTP, Partner Transformation Program. So those are all the opportunities that AWS can help you add value to your customers. So now let's spend a minute on that ease of adoption of technology. We know that you love your solution architects. In our recent survey, we found that you do love them and they can help you around that technology area. We showed you some of the technology integration that you as a consulting partner can take advantage of, and some really awesome programs like ATO, Authority to Operate, for FedRAMP and beyond. We also talked about the value of GovCloud, getting you time to compliance in a rapid pace. There's also funding available for proof of concept and POAs, or Partner Opportunity Acceleration. So we got those two covered. Now let's talk a little bit about that planning phase, one of the areas that I really love to do with our partners. So we talked about the early beta program and partnering with partners. Also, ProServe Ready. It's a pilot today, but I know that you're going to love it and we'll roll it out as well. Go-to-market support has really ramped up as well. We've added go-to-market teams and really tried to help you more build that plan, as well as adding some really great things around distribution. So then for expanding your market out, really growing beyond that compute and storage area with things like solutions and AI, ML, and IoT. So we talked about the newbie program for new customers and new workloads. We also talked about rapid adoption assistance for AI and ML, the IoT competency, 5G PartnerCast coming up, that Outpost Ready program, and all of our technical competencies like migration. And then last but not least, we love Marketplace, and we know that you leverage Marketplace for many different things, but especially for renewal to scale. So this is what we want to see. We want to be able to help you along your journey so that you are adding more value to our customers as well. Now, I want to end where I started by thanking you for your partnership, by thanking you for doing some amazing things during this pandemic, by adding so much value to our customers, and by helping us deliver great programs for your success. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Now, I hope you got some great value out of this today. Don't overanalyze it. I really just want you to get going. Pick 1, 2, or 3 things out. Work with your solution architect, your PDM, or even reach out to me. We will help you get going, because what we want to do is to help you think big for 2021. Again, my name is Sandy Carter, and I have the privilege and the pleasure of running our public sector partners, startups, and programs. And I know that today's session gave you something of value, maybe multiple things of value. So please let us hear from you. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your virtual reInvent. Thank you.